Started a new series a couple of months ago called Startup Stories. We want to feature local startup businesses, give them opportunities to tell you what they're doing, talk about some of the challenges they might have had, some of the successes they've had, and get some feedback from the attendees in the audience. So we're going to start off our program with that, and this month we have Wendy Song-Dowling, CEO and co-founder of Evolusen, is that right? Evolusen. Wendy, give Wendy a round of applause. Okay, hello. All right, I'm just going to use the power of my voice until my mic starts to work. Wendy, why don't you tell us a bit about Evolusen and what it does, what you do?
Hi everyone, my name is Wendy Song-Dowling. I'm the co-founder of Evolusen. It's an influencer marketing software platform built specifically for the hospitality and travel industry. We focus on two things. We focus on the authenticity of influencers, travel, lifestyle, food influencers, and then also streamlining the process for both influencers and also the businesses we work with.
Great, thank you, Wendy. Okay, I've lost the mic again. All right, so tell us how you came up with the idea for your business.
So my co-founder and I, we are both industry people, right? We worked in the hospitality and travel industry for multiple years. My co-founder was at operations in hotels, and I did hotel sales and then also destination marketing. And throughout our years of experience, we realized the inefficiencies in the industry that we're working with. And then I also did freelance travel influencer for a while. So it's very inefficient on both sides. So we created Evolusen through those insights.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, I think we've got it. So when you started Evolusen, how did you go about starting the company? Meaning, is it corporation, LLC? How did you figure out how to do that?
Yeah, our company was an LLC, is still an LLC. It's the easiest way to start the business. It's more cost effective, a lot less maintenance, and we will change the corporation status or structure when it's needed.
Yeah. Okay, so LLC because it's the easiest way to start a company.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay, this is kind of frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So, when did you start the business?
Officially, we started May 2019, and then the pandemic hit. We paused for about 2 years, and then restarted end of 2021. Okay,
I'm going to use my voice a second. I'm going to change out the mics. Okay, and you chose an LLC because of ease of setting up.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you haven't raised capital.
We have some friends and family funding, but mostly bootstrapped.
Bootstrapped, okay. Yes. And how has that worked out for you?
Well, I mean, it's harder, right?
Okay.
And a little bit slower, but we enjoy our current structure just because we maintain a lot more control in our company. And then also, we are, of course, open to funding eventually when we can confidently say we hit an inflection point, and then if we raise this much fund, this is how much we'll grow.
So are you all working full-time on Evolusen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have yourself, your co-founder, and I think you mentioned there was also another person as well?
Yes, we have a software engineer and then also a part-time person.
Okay, yeah. And so they're all basically just donating their time right now?
No, the part-time person would pay.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. So I think there's a lesson there, right? And we've had speakers at previous events that have really talked about bootstrapping, whether it's right to bootstrap or raise capital, right? And I think, when you're starting out a new business, when you're figuring out what it is that you're doing, bootstrapping is always the right way to go first. You don't want to, try to take money in too quickly. Plus, if you take it in too early before you're really ready, you'll end up giving up too much of the company. So I think that's a very smart move. Okay. What have been your greatest challenges as a startup up until now?
I feel like all startups, the greatest challenge is brand awareness, right? Nobody knows who you are. Even if you talk to them about it, they were like, I don't know if I should trust you, right? You're a startup. What if 90% of the startups technically, fail? So like, how much should I invest or use you, especially if we're going after hospitality and travel brands that are large, right? Right now we have clients, for example, Marriott, Hilton, and City Tourism Boards who trust us into doing what we're building.
Okay.
So yeah, brand awareness, and then also getting more customers.
So the idea of this startup stories is so we can get some feedback input from the audience. So does anybody have any advice to give Wendy about how they can increase brand awareness on a shoestring budget, how to secure new customers? Anyone got any good tips for her? Okay, hand over there. You'd like to stand up?
Yes,
Thank you, Sheila.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Here. I think that what can really help out with brand awareness, myself as a former entrepreneur and small business owner, partner-to-partner networking, word of mouth is super important, right? Incentivizing kind of your brand strategy, likeness does help out when you don't have a lot of funds. It also helps motivate you too. My company prior, we made a lot of revenue very fast because of that. So I think that it will do the same for you in hospitality.
Thank you.
So are you talking, when you say monetizing, like affiliation marketing, that kind of thing?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, do you do any of that right now?
Not affiliated marketing, but we are starting a referral program right now. But we do a lot of networking, in-person networking.
Okay. I think it always is good to give people an incentive to help, even though networking's great, right? But if they have an incentive and you put a formal program in place, I think that's always, a better way of getting people to help you grow and scale your business. Anybody else has any recommendations? Marlo.
So I don't have a recommendation. I'd like to understand better who your customer is, because you're kind of blazing a new trail here. And is your customer influencers? Is your customer the Marriotts of the world? Who is your customer here?
Yeah. My customers are the hotels, tourism boards, brands, travel, lifestyle, hospitality brands.
Maybe you could have her on your show, Marlo. I mean, okay. Marlo has a radio show. So, and he's also the founder of, what is it again? How do you, I mean, I know what it is, but it's
Why don't you explain what it is?
basically Pizza Day, Women's Day, whatever it might be. He has it's the National Calendar Day. Okay, so all these different days have different things affiliated with them. Marlo is the person that came up with that idea. Great idea. Okay, anybody else have any recommendations on building brand, getting new customers? Trish.
I have to say this because Scott Mulrath is in the room, but join the Henderson Chamber of Commerce. I've been a member since 2004, and I joined when I had just started my real estate business. And I will tell you that getting into networking events where you see people of different types of businesses and people that are similar to you that want to help will be very impactful.
Thank you.
I'll second that, Trish. The Henderson Chamber, I've been involved with other chambers, and the Henderson Chamber really does a phenomenal job of helping new businesses find their feet, meet new people, network. Scott's always, available to answer questions, and if he knows someone that can help you, he'll always do that. So I think that's a great point, Trish. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah. Are there any other software companies that are similar to your idea that are already out there? Yeah.
There are a lot of other influencer marketing platforms out there. Majority of them are focused on e-commerce. There are a couple that does travel and hospitality industry, but we all do something different.
Follow-up question. So what your goal is, you want those large businesses, corporations, to use your software solely, right? And nobody else's. Is that your goal?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes. So most businesses would just use one software, and then we want them to use ours if they only focus on hospitality and travel. So, for example, we have like PR firms that uses us for their hospitality and travel clients, but then they can, of course, use other software if they're focusing on other industries.
Can you explain the business model so people understand exactly how this works? I think it might help.
Yeah, so for our software, what we do is it's a two-sided marketplace, right? So one side is a vetted network of travel, lifestyle, food influencers. We vet them based on content focus, create travel, lifestyle, food content, and then authenticity. So we make sure that they're not buying followers or engagement before they can use the platform. And the other side is the businesses that utilizes our platform to engage directly with the influencers.
And explain how the companies, your customers, will actually use the platform specifically?
Yeah, they can list out a job listing, for example, right? If, for example, I'm the Past Casino, I'm looking for a travel influencer who will create content for me in exchange for a nice stay and a meal at the casino. And then when that happens, the influencer will then submit applications to the Past Casino, and then they can connect directly and decide if they want to work with them or not based on the influencer's content, stats that we pull directly from social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and communicate directly on the platform.
So it's like a recruiting platform for hospitality influencers, basically. Question?
My name is Brandon Ward. My business is the We Mentality. So I love your idea. And the thing I was thinking about in the past was influencers need their own chamber of commerce, because a lot of these businesses, they don't know how to work with the influencer. So we need a hub where all the influencers come together, where we teach businesses how to utilize these influencers. I think if you could create that community, a nonprofit, I think that you can bring businesses to your influencers, and you can have influencers for businesses, and they'll just feed each other all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that. Thank you. Anybody else? Damien. Damien has a mouthful of chicken wings. Hold on, wait. Swallow first, please. We don't want you to choke.
I got a lot of them.
The wings are good, though.
No, how about Airbnb properties you list on Airbnb, VRBO? Would what you do have any benefit for them?
Yes, yeah. We did have a client that was in Airbnb. It's just that your availability, Airbnb's availability might be smaller because you have maybe one location and then hosting influencers versus a hotel who has at least 100 rooms hosting influencers. You'll get more interest and then also more ability to host the influencers. But yes, we do help Airbnbs.
Okay, question.
Yeah. So I have a very deep background in this industry, because in the entertainment industry there's a software called MediaSync, and it's by a company called Bridge Entertainment, which they score all the celebrities. And 6 years ago, they actually started rating the influencers. So every celebrity has a score, just like we have a FICO score, they have a score. Same thing with the influencers. So basically, if you subscribe to that kind of software, when you get the rate, it's a complex system. There's negatives, positives. Like for example, there's a reason why Hillary Clinton will never be able to sell lipstick. Her negatives are same thing, by the way, with the Donald Trump. So,
You want some lipstick?
I'm just telling you that it's a complex market. So and also they also rate the brand. So you can actually, and a lot of consultants you have seen, they subscribe to the software and then they score and they sell that score back to the brand, literally. And it's a very complex system. But influencers, you need the historical data on that in order to be successful. And also you have to know their positives and negatives, because not every influencer, for example, has positives. Some of them are very famous, but they have very high negatives, which means that they cannot sell them. On the other hand, for example, Tom Hanks, who has been like leading first 10 celebrities, can't sell anything to anyone. So it's a kind of very, very complex market, and my kudos for starting a business like that. It's a tough ladder to climb, but it's also a very open market because there's so few offerings.
Thank you for that. Are you familiar with what he was talking about?
I'm not familiar with the scoring system, what you're talking about, but we have a score for the influencer as well. We pull all of their stats from social media platforms and we score them based on account performance. We stack them against all the other travel, lifestyle, food influencers. And then we also have an authenticity score to know that if they're buying followers and engagement. We actually deny 65% of the influencer applications because of fraudulent activities like that.
It's a very familiar help, because when we were doing the surveys, I would reject probably about 70% to 75% of what's called the robo surveys. So these are not focus group surveys. They just kind of someone in Venezuela just run 1,000 survey results and stuff. So yeah, you're on the right path.
Thank you.
Everything's going to be fine.
Over there, question.
Subject Johnson, the question I had earlier. You're talking about your vetting process. Is your vetting process mostly qualitative or quantitative? And like, what data sources are you drawing on to determine if these people have bots? And do you have like an ETL pipeline and model, or a specialist or a subject matter expert?
Yeah, so they're both, right? We look at the content focus as well as their stats. We pull the stats directly from social media platforms. So they're not some stats that influencers would input themselves. And then we created an algorithm that runs all of their stats in the back end to get these scores. So we have analyzed over 200,000 influencer posts so far to get these scores.
Another question about that? Oh, this gentleman first with your glasses, yeah. One second, this gentleman had his hand up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, how accurate is that?
Well, I don't have a percentage of the accuracy, but when we first started with the algorithm, we manually analyzed all of the equations and then the results, and then we're consistently updating it based on, for example, Instagram's updates on the stats as well. Yeah.
Who do you focus on the hotel? Who do you sell that product to as a member of the hotel?
Oh, a member of the hotel, we will sell it to either director of sales and marketing, director of marketings, or in corporate offices will be the marketing person as well.
So to wrap up, we have people here that obviously must have relationships, right? And maybe some have relationships with the hospitality industry clients. Why don't you explain how someone in the audience could potentially help you gain a new client or grow the business?
We are, we love conversations. One of our big thing is to talk to potential customers and seeing their pain points and then try to solve their current problems. So I would love any introductions that you can provide. It doesn't have to be a marketing person. It can be an operation person in a hotel or casino or hospitality and travel industry, just to see their pain points. It helps us develop our app to streamline the process, and then also to see if there's need in different sectors in the hospitality industry as well.
I've been in the hospitality industry for 30 years. I have hundreds of customers all over the United States. Well, how do you ask them to sell your business? What's the pitch?
Well, the pitch is that if they're doing influencer marketing right now, or if they are looking into doing influencer marketing, right, for their property, because influencer marketing is still fairly early for the hospitality industry. So if that's what they're wanting to do, and then they want a place to start, we're the place to start, or if they are doing a lot of influencer marketing right now, or inundated because it's a very manual process, and they want someone to help them streamline the process, or even use data to analyze what they're doing, if they're doing it right or not, we would love to have the conversation.
Okay. Lastly, Wendy, one last question. Is there anything you particularly would like to ask the audience, the attendees, any particular area of the business that you're struggling with that you might, like some advice on?
Yeah. Earlier we talked about, brand awareness. But I would love to learn what is one thing that somebody have told you as a founder or business owner, an advice that have stuck with you until today.
Brandon.
Mine is build your own community. Yeah, and once you build your own community, you can leverage it in many different ways.
If you didn't hear it, was build your own community, and that's a really great point. Sheila.
Mine is, it's okay to fail. Keep going at it. Don't get discouraged, and just keep learning your lessons all the time.
It's okay to fail. Pick yourself up, brush yourself down, keep trying. Anybody else?
Yeah, piece of advice that my startup really tries to focus on is picking 3 customers and focusing on those people like a hound with the scent, you know, like don't give up on them. Or 3 use cases, if you will.
So be focused, basically. Don't try and be too much to too many.
Yeah, there's so many, you can get easily distracted.
Make sense?
One from the last Henderson Tech Alley I thought was really good. He said for recruiting technical people, he needed eagles that were willing to fly in formation. Which I thought.
Eagles that are willing to fly information. Interesting. Okay, could you explain what you mean by that?
Well, it's his quote, it's not mine.
Okay.
Eagles
Okay.
in formation.
Okay, Tim. Information. Eagles who fly in formation. All right, we have a language barrier here. Sorry, I'm English, and we don't speak the same English. All right, okay. Eagles who fly in formation. So, can you, layperson?
Yeah, just most technical talent, especially really quality technical talent, is kind of off on its own path. And people that are A tier and willing to work together is the key.
Perfect. That's great advice. Oh, one last one here.
Just an inside information, stay away from the influencers who go political.
I 100%. I see you kind of covered both sides of the fence when you made your comment earlier. So I wanted to make sure people know we are apolitical.
I'm just yes. Yeah.
100%. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Wendy, thank you for sharing your business with us and for opening up to us. Everyone, Wendy Dowling, thank you. And if you want to, we have some networking at the end. If you have any advice for Wendy, please feel free to approach her. And
Can we follow her?
absolutely.
Yes, please.
Okay, what's your social media?
It's LinkedIn would be just Wendy Song-Dowling.
Come here.
Yeah, for LinkedIn, just look me up under Wendy Song-Dowling.
Instagram?
Instagram is, for our business Instagram is Evolusen, EVOLUSENCOM, Evolusen.com.
And I'll make sure I share all the information with the attendees as well. I try and do a good job at following up, but this time for sure I'm going to make sure I share all of the speakers, all the panelists' information with the people that attend this evening, so you could always do follow-ups afterwards as well. Wendy, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay.